All right, it has been since September that I have given my nominations for Best Picture. Well, today is when I'm going to be revising my nominations for Best Picture. Which ones have changed? Which ones have come in new? And, who do I see that is most likely to take the award at the end of the night? And who's the most least likely? Well, let's get into my thoughts on it right now. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. My name is Tyson, and we are here to talk about movies. That's right, we do movie reviews, movie trailer reactions. We cover major movie news on our Midland podcast. We do movie rankings, and of course, we do Oscar Mondays. So, if all that sounds interesting to you, make sure to check us out and subscribe. We're on the way to 1,000 subscribers, and I would love to have your guys' support as we go about that journey. All right, with all that done and out of the way, let's get on into it this Oscar Monday here, and we're going to be talking about Best Picture. What do I think the 10 most likely films are going to get nominated for? Well, let's dive on in. There are a couple changes since I've done this last September, and I've definitely seen more of these movies since the last time I did this, which is always great to actually finally see these movies that I talk about for however many months. So, let me know your thoughts, as always, down below in the comments about who you think is going to get nominated, and, who do you think is most likely to win, and who would you personally like to see take the award? So, excited to hear your thoughts down there. All right, let's start off here with number one. Let's just do it. We still have Oppenheimer at number one. I think Oppenheimer is actually holding the lead pretty strong here, and you know what? Good on for it. I mean, if you can hold the lead this strong all the way until March, power to you. I'm not confident yet that it will win, but I do think that it has a pretty good shot right now, and I think it's a front runner by a decent enough margin right now that I feel comfortable saying that. So Oppenheimer is still number one. All right, moving on to number two, and that is where I have The Holdovers. I recently just watched The Holdovers for the first time, and I absolutely love this movie. It is a great feel-good movie, one I would recommend to anybody, with fantastic performances, edited, fantastic. The score is amazing. The direction from Alexander Payne is fantastic as well. There are so many great things in this film, and I think it's going to do very well come awards season, and that's why I have it at number two. I just think a lot of people are going to get behind this one, and it's kind of going to be the one that surprises a lot of people, I think. So, Holdovers is number two. Coming in at number three, we have Poor Things. This is the new Yorgos Lanthimos movie, and, I've been hearing great things about it, but I've also been hearing that it's pretty weird, pretty different, and I think that could shy away some Academy voters, and maybe, not really feel like they should get the win for it, but I think it's going to do very well nomination-wise. I really do. I think it's going to get a lot of them. I think Emma Stone's going to get a lot of buzz around Best Actress. Yorgos Lanthimos, I think, is going to get Best Director nomination. And I think screenplay, costumes, maybe score, production design, all of that kind of stuff. But I think the weirdness could impact it. But then again, Everything Everywhere All at Once just won Best Picture last year. So I feel like that argument's kind of out the window at this point. So, who knows? But right now I do have it at number three. I had it at number two last time. But I think The Holdovers has a better shot over Poor Things. Moving on to number four is where I have Barbie. I think that Barbie has a great... I know it's going to get a nomination. I think that's obvious at this point. And as for the win, not necessarily guaranteed. I think it's really the top three that are in the best spot for it, and then everything else. And I think there's a pretty good distance between everything else, if I'm honest. But Barbie, it's going to get nominated, but it is a comedy, and that's always hard to get the win for a comedy. And I think that's going to be its probably biggest factor to stop it. So, yeah, Barbie, I think, is definitely going to get in, but I don't think it has a shot at winning. Coming in at number five, I have Killers of the Flower Moon. This is a film that I think its chances for wins all across the board and nominations across the board, frankly, are just getting lower and lower each and every day. I still think it's going to get nominated for quite a few, but I don't think it's going to win anything at this point. So it's just kind of there. And I think it's there because of who directed it and who is starring in it. Otherwise, I don't think it would be on this list. All right, moving on to number six is where I have American Fiction. I am super excited to see this movie. Still have not yet. I think it comes out in December. and I can't wait to see it. I think Jeffrey Wright is going to be fantastic. Sterling Kane Brown as well. This film won, kind of the equivalent of Best Picture at one of the film festivals earlier this year. And, I think it's a kind of a dark horse, and I think it could keep on doing better and better, and it could get on into that top three contention maybe, or that top four. I could see this one rising through the ranks as the season goes on. So it's at number 6 right now. Number 7, I have The Color Purple. This is a film that I think is going to do very well now. For some reason, the buzz for this one kind of went away without anybody seeing it. And then the second trailer came out, and people who have seen this film now, I think it was shown to a limited amount of critics, are raving about this one. And after seeing the second trailer that was released, I am super excited to see this movie. I think the performances are going to be great, and I think this movie is going to be great. So that's why I'm pretty confident it's going to get nominated for Best Picture here. Moving on into number 8, we have Maestro, the new Bradley Cooper film. He stars in it, also directs it, and Carey Mulligan is in this one as well. I think this is a film that's going to do great come nominations Monday. And I think Bradley Cooper is going to get his moment here. I think he's in pretty good contention to win for Best Actor. But Best Director, I don't know if he'll get nominated, but I think he might get recognized here for it since he's also a producer of the film. And this one's going to be a little mixed because I think older Academy members are going to like this one, where I don't know about the newer, younger members, and I don't know about myself if I'm going to like it or not, but I'm excited to see it nonetheless. And I think it's going to do pretty well, like I said, come nominations morning, and I think it's going to end up on the Best Picture list. Coming in at number 9, we have Past Lives. Now, this is a film that I have still yet to see. I really need to see it, I know. I think this is a film that Oscar chances for it are getting, kind of, well, frankly, just less and less as the season goes on. I think more people are, forgetting about the film as it is a smaller one, so I think it's going to be hard for it to kind of get back into that limelight. But I still think it will hold on at the end of the day and get that 9th slot. But I don't think it's as certain anymore as it used to be earlier on in the season. Coming in, last place at number 10, I have Anatomy of a Fall. This is a film that I absolutely love. I think it is fantastic. I think it should be way higher on this list. But unfortunately, I don't know about this one. I think the 10th slot here, as of now, if I'm honest, I think it is pretty safe to be Anatomy of the Fall. I think this 10 is actually pretty safe. But you can't say it's all a lock because it's too early to tell. But I think they will honor Anatomy of a Fall here because they can't give it Best International Feature. It's not being France's push for that category. So I think here is where they'll be able to recognize the film as well as possibly Screenplay and Best Actress. But, I just think this film is a little, out of all the other ones I've named, I think it is kind of the last one that people will think about, where I don't think that's right, but I just think that's what it's going to be. And I think a big reason for that is it's not an international feature. And I think that kind of takes the limelight away from it a little bit, which is awful. I mean, it definitely should be, but it's just not. But like I said, I'm still pretty confident. The only one I could see overtaking Anatomy of the Fall right now is The Zone of Interest, which also stars Sandra Hüller. But I think Anatomy of the Fall just has a bit more critical praise, and I think a lot more people enjoyed this one over Zone of Interest. So that's why I still have it in here, clinching that 10th spot, and I hope for the life of me that it sticks on in there, because I love this movie, and I think it definitely deserves to be in the conversation and in the running for Best Picture. So, guys, that's my list for Best Picture. Once again, I'll run through it. Number 1, I have Oppenheimer. Number 2, The Holdovers. Number 3, Poor Things. Number 4 is Barbie. 5 is Killers of the Flower Moon. Then at 6, we have American Fiction, followed by The Color Purple. At 7, Maestro. At 8, Past Lives. At 9, and Anatomy of a Fall at 10. All right, that's my list. Let me know your guys' down below. Which ones do you think will get in? Which ones are in the top contention for you? And which one personally do you want to see win the award? Not which one is most likely, but which one has your heart that you would like to give the award to. So, very interested to hear your guys' thoughts on that all down below in the comments section. And keep an eye out later this week. I will be doing another podcast with CJ, so another Admit One podcast will be coming your way. We'll talk about some Oscar stuff. We'll talk about the chaos at Marvel. We'll talk about the holdovers a good amount, so stick around for that. All right. Thank you guys for watching so much, and until the next one, I'm Tyson Honecker, and I'll catch you then.